YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this. We've got the RadioLink A560. It's a 3D profile plane. It's very basic. It's lots of different types of foam. It's got lots of flexibleness to it and a little bit of rigidity. It's supposed to do lots of different things, 7 flight modes, and we're gonna try it right now. The wind is at our back, so we'll have to take off over the bowl. And we're in normal mode, so there's nothing happening. I'm gonna go into gyro stabilized mode. By the way, be careful with this one, no throttle cut, and it is definitely eager, okay? Comes with a bunch of prop savers and 2 props, and should be pretty easy to fly, we hope. Okay, here we go. So we're off. Both of the triggers are down. So as you can see, I'm about 50% stick input on the throttle and just kind of telling it when I want it to roll. It's definitely got a high attitude. It goes up a lot, which is fine. That is very weird, just how gyro stabilized it is, okay? And so I'm gonna see, you can't flip it over, so it's got limits on bank angles, both up and down. Very, very robust on the auto leveling. Camera crew over here with me, please. Okay, going into the middle gyro mode. I think this one's gonna let me flip upside down. Yep, so this would be like stabilized. There is definitely a ton of authority on the thing. It's definitely a 3D plane. It feels quite easy to fly, but yet it's super, super touchy on the controls. So if you're not used to doing a lot of 3D, look how flat that is, that flat turn. So the auto leveling is off, but it's just basically locked in on this position for the simple fact that it just hasn't been told to go out of that position. So as you can see, it's just really solid. And it's like weirdly easy to fly, lots of power. We'll go over here for a minute. Cool clouds in the background. Now there's a vertical flight mode, and I haven't flipped the switch to do it yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to do that, okay? So I'm gonna go to the vertical flight mode. Okay, so now I should be, there's vertical flight mode. Okay, so it's doing this. I'm gonna give it a little bit more throttle. You do have to give it enough throttle so then you can fly it like drone style. As you can see, it's trying to kind of put it in that vertical flight configuration. And as soon as you let go, it corrects the thing, which is really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna roll. Now I'm gonna come out of this style and go to the other vertical style, which it looks like it allows you to fly, but it really fights when you try to pull it into these weird positions, because then the flight controller gets confused. So I'm gonna go back to more of like an acrobatic flight mode so I can bring it back over here. It's just got huge amounts of throw. And so what happens is if you're out of the gyro mode or the stabilized mode, it's just incredible. I'm at like 30% throttle, folks. Look at these new trees we got here. Amazing, right? So you can cruise along at a really slow speeds, very tame. If there's no wind, it'd be even easier. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to vertical. Okay, so I'm in vertical mode. You have to give it enough throttle to actually be able to maintain height, okay? So that's gonna change. There you go, so there's your positional change. That is so weird, guys. It really does a pretty dang good job. Okay, coming out of vertical mode. That gyro is so like crazy powerful. It's like, but it keeps it in that weird like nose up attitude. So I gotta say, I mean, if you were flying this in a gymnasium, it'd be rock solid. I don't know what all the beeping is, but there's some sort of beeping happening.
Is that low voltage?
I don't know. I'm coming over here by the edge. So all I can say is also it's got a pretty good roll rate. Auto leveling would be for beginners. So both of your triggers need to be pulled down like this, and that's gonna auto level as soon as you let go of the sticks. So if you're brand new to flying, you don't have to be an expert pilot to fly this thing, but I gotta say, it's still kind of like a weird, sort of very mechanical flight feel. It's not like flying an Extra 300 or any of the other 3D style planes we've flown in the past. but it's definitely better at executing slow flight performance, and it's very simple to actually execute these hovers because you can just go from like whatever to, here, we'll just put you in vertical mode now. So now you're in vertical mode, so long as you have enough throttle to actually keep and maintain the position you want to be. I mean, I'm like hands off, which is cool. Ground effect is coming, but here we go. So like, I'm not even looking, okay? That's cool, but at the same time, guys, I've seen stuff like this before. Okay, coming out of that mode just because it's not wanting to hold its position. I've seen modes like this before, and what happens is you get a false sense of security. I want to see how hard it is to land it. I mean, just like auto leveling. I'm going to go to just stabilized mode here. Okay. So this would be like AS3X. This is not AS3X, just to be, whoa, lost my orientation. That was weird. I like never lose my orientation anymore. Just bring it in here for a nice, gentle, ooh, wait, let's do this. Let's do vertical. So as you can see, it's vertical, okay? Come on, stop being so difficult, dang it. There we go. So that is pretty impressive there. Let's walk it over to us. It's wind veining some is the problem. Yeah. If it was dead calm, this thing would be rock solid. And I don't know if you guys can tell, what happens is like when the wind stops, look at the altitude change.
Yeah.
So I was gonna totally try to catch it.
I know.
Okay, into normal flight mode with auto leveling, I'm just gonna chop the throttle and just kind of glide it down toward us. And remember, it's not, whoa, that was really rough. Let's go see if we broke it. And it's beeping a bunch. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. I don't even know what that means. So let's go ahead and look at this. I have no throttle cut, so I need to be super careful. If camera crew holds this, you need to be actually very careful. By the way, I dropped this off camera and I marred up my keys really bad. And I had a hold of my plane like this, and so I was able to protect myself from the throttle because the throttle did start. Oh yeah, we dinged that real good. Okay, so there's that. But this does have a prop saver, so it's got a rubber band style prop saver. And so this comes off this 838 prop. Looks like a SZ Speed 2206 CZ 1450 KV, okay? And then of course we have all sorts of robust controls here. I just wanna try a launch real quick in the 3D vertical. So I'm gonna go up to the top setting. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go to this setting and I'm just gonna real carefully give enough throttle. Camera crew, you safe? Mm-hmm. So here we go. So that's pretty impressive right there. Whoa! You still gotta give it a wide breath, you know. If it gets to where the battery's low, it's gonna lose its position. So really all you're doing is you're just trying to hide, you're trying to find that sweet spot where it's got enough thrust to keep it floating, okay? You can use the right stick to control its general position, but it is kind of like a suggestion, okay? Make no mistake, it's a suggestion. Okay, so in drone mode, let's try that and see how much different that makes it. It does make it manageable. Okay, so let's try flying it back over. So I'm back in auto leveling again. It really does hold that level nicely. Okay. And I don't know if this channel 8 knob does anything, if it like maximizes the amount of gyroscopic input. I can't tell. I'm gonna go to the middle setting and see. Okay, so again, now we're in acro mode. So this is the, whatever the channel 8 all the way up, and then channel 8 all the way down. Okay, now channel 8 all the way up. Honestly, I can't tell the difference. Although the wind seems to have subsided all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna go into vertical mode. We're gonna see if we can get this thing caught. Okay. Dang it, it's just so weird. Because you don't know the exact relative position it's gonna be, because when it loses its orientation, it's only concerned with verticality. See that? Now it just rolled, right?
Yeah.
So now my controls have gone away from what I was expecting. So now it's over there. And I don't want to go chasing it. So I'm going to roll it. See if I can bring it back on its belly here, or on its back. Yeah, I don't know that that channel 8 does really much of anything. That is pretty incredible though, guys. I'm not a 3D pilot. Okay, normal flight mode with stabilizing and auto leveling, okay? So let's see if we can get you a nice landing down the runway. It's just kind of a weird 3D plane. Okay, so there it is, guys. So it's on the ground. Did we do wheels up yet?
Yeah,
we did a vertical takeoff. I did?
You took off.
Okay, let's try it again. So let's go to non-auto leveling and let's see what it looks like. This just stabilized. Looks like the landing gear got bent a little bit there. You know, this feels to me like if you had Expo, the Expo would help a lot, but I'm not feeling like there's any Expo built in. I'm trying to figure out if that channel 8 does some Expo for us. Like if it's rates. Not feeling any different here. Kind of scrolling the knob to one extreme, from one extreme to the other to see if there's any change. See, I can hover the thing just really pretty easy, but it's really cool that it just does it itself. I have no clue what that obnoxious beeping is, but it's really annoying. Huh. It's got to be something about a timer from like time of being in the air or voltage. Okay, so let's see how awkward the transition is to vertical. There it is. That's what I was trying to do, folks. Okay, now take him back off. That is pretty cool, okay? Not being a skilled 3D pilot, okay? Oh yeah, she's dead now.
Oh,
okay. So we definitely killed her. All right, so that's why it's beep, beep, beeping. So what I've got to say about this plane is the instructions actually do tell the tale. Okay, if you watch our unbox build radio setup part, which is following this video immediately, then it's gonna be more clear than it could be if you were just left without an instruction manual at all. However, there's 2 buttons, so let's talk about this. Obviously, the 600 milliamp hour 2S pack gets you a pretty good amount of flight time, and we have probably drawn ours down to where it's completely dead. So I don't even know how long that was. There's no timer. There is a little bit of telemetry, obviously, because it's giving us warnings. I don't know if that's a low voltage warning or if that is just a time sensor. But here's what happens. We have a channel 8 scrolly knob, and I don't know if it does anything, okay? I tried all the way over and all the way back numerous times during the flight, okay? There's 1, 2, and 3 positions, and 1, 2, and 3 positions, okay? You can see where I dropped it. It literally fell from here down to my foot. And I slowed it with my foot, and it still managed to get dinged up that bad from one drop. Okay, it's very light, but it does have an integral battery. Of course, you can see the specs. They're 900 milliamp hour, okay, 3.7 volts, so it's a 1S 900 milliamp hour. Okay, the sticks, the gimbals feel reasonably good, actually, but they're small. And because they're small, the amount of throw is inherently small. So flying a 3D plane for me is something that I don't fancy myself being some sort of an expert on, but I could definitely tell you that this plane has quite a bit of capability. Is it my taste? I don't know if I would even put it there, but the thing is, if you're in an indoor fly-in and you're inside of a gymnasium, this thing is gonna be really easy to fly in tight quarters because you can hand launch and hand catch for landing, which is really cool. And you don't have to be an ultra skilled pilot. Now to do those vertical things, so this is where I would take off all the way down and all the way down. That's auto leveling and stabilized. Then I would fly in this stabilized in the center. And then if you want to shut that off and go full 3D, and just have no stabilization all the way up, okay? So you can think of it like easiest, nothing, okay? Vertical, one of the two modes, and the other mode, and then acrobatic in the middle, okay? So you're gonna start down here, you're gonna take off. When you feel comfortable with it, you'll go ahead and switch into the, you know, what I would call like the stabilization mode. This would be the safe mode or the auto leveling mode. That's not what they call it, by the way. And then up here, this would be off. I don't know why they throw that condition in there, but they do, okay? And then when you wanna do a vertical takeoff, you'll go to either here or here. Either one will do it. So I'd like to try another battery before we call this quits. So we're probably gonna pause and grab the other battery so we can get a better grasp for feel on time, because we did admittedly use our battery for radio setup. So we'll go inside, we'll show you what we got left on the juice in that battery, and then we'll throw on the new one and start flying one more time. Okay, so this is the battery we just used. We'll plug it in the XPC, and it's probably way gone. 3.5. Yes. So 3.5 is actually a pretty good cutoff point. Okay, so this is the charger that comes with. Of course, you have to provide your own wall adapters, so you get these things. So that's actually not too bad, and it charged pretty quick because it came out of the box at like 3, almost 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not quite full, but it's not gonna go a whole lot higher than that because we did notice a difference, an appreciable difference. So what I'm gonna do is I'll go ahead and plug this back into the wall. And of course, in our Unbox build radio setup, we'll show you how to use the smart chargers if you have those, which would be more standard for our use on Brian Phillips RC, because we do mostly smart stuff. All right, so then this, we'll show you inside while it's comfortable, and the sun is gonna get to where it's blazing right in our eyeballs. It's got a nice Velcro strap, so you can use different sizes. But I gotta warn you, you're dealing with foam, and this foam, even though it's kind of that kind of foam that's got strength to it and resilience, it still makes me nervous. Like it's gonna bend, and once you crease it, it's never gonna get its shape back, okay? Just trying to figure out a place I can put the balance lead so it doesn't become a problem. In fact, it'd be nice to put that right in here.
In the Velcro?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the Velcro down. Just go like this, because it just makes me nervous. Okay, now remember, this has got to get level so it can initiate. And this has a full-on flight controller, so it does need to sit level and generally level on its gear. So don't launch it until you know you're ready and fully initiated. Now, fully initiated for us is going to mean that you have all the surfaces moving in all the directions. You need to make sure they are, okay? So I'm going to go into my... Okay, you can see the prop started, that's always nice. I'm gonna go to the normal mode, in the middle. Roll left, roll right, elevator up, elevator down, yaw left, yaw right. Okay, so I'm in auto leveling and I'm in stabilized. I wanna try something kind of different here. We're gonna go out here and see if we can do a vertical takeoff from a cool spot. But we gotta make sure our kids aren't out here. If they are, we might go a different spot. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so if you have a tight spot and you want to fly, then this might be a cool place, a cool type of airplane for you. Okay, this is where you really test the features. Okay, so I'm going to go to vertical takeoff, and I'm going to be on one of the two modes. So here goes nothing, guys. Okay, so I'm going to just get my hand well away from the prop, and I'm just going to take it off. There it is. That's pretty cool. Okay, now for me, I'm gonna just use the rudder to pull it back over toward us. Okay, it's just kind of being a little bit dumb. It's flapping its wings like a bird. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to airplane mode. And I'm in auto leveling, so I'm gonna go to stabilized, and here we go. So it's kind of a weird transition if you're not used to it. And again, the sticks are what the sticks are. But what a cool spot to fly from. Mm-hmm. We never fly from over here. Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
But what's gonna be really cool about this spot is if the pond gets dug where we want it, I'm gonna be flying right in front of the beach. Beach.
We getting a beach too?
Well, I mean, where the water hits the land. I don't know if we're gonna do a sand beach, but yeah, this will be the pond when I'm flying over. Yeah. That'll be the big part of the pond. Here, we'll fly over here. And I hate it because we're gonna lose a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
And so we're just trying to we're trying to love our trees while we have them, even more than we already have, okay? So there we are, guys. So we flew through the hole. Then I go way out there. I'd like to fly it vertical, but I just don't trust myself to do it. You know, here on Brian Phillips RC, we love to fly the terrain. And that's something that some of you guys can't do, and maybe you don't have any terrain that's available to fly, or it would be prohibited in your area or whatever, because you've got a bunch of people with their, you know, no real problems in their life and they have to worry about your toys. And there's a lot of people like that, guys. We empathize. Why do you think we bought this big, huge piece of property? It's not because we wanted neighbors. Okay, so this is just me and the stabilizer working together. Oh man, I almost ran into a brand new tree. What the heck? And that echoed a lot.
That did a lot.
Okay, so let's take a nature walk. Brian Phillips RC Nature Walk. Welcome to nature, kids and adults. So we have a new tree. We're thinking about planting it there. Planting trees is always a very dangerous, risky maneuver. And so if you decide that you're obsessive about radio-controlled airplanes, you have to make tough calls between pleasing your wife and pleasing the masses that help provide the trees when you need a tree. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk out into the tall grass. This tall grass should be short soon because we're gonna cut it and collect it and turn it into hay. But as you can see, this plane should not be damaged at all. So let's see what it is. Look at that. It is pretty cool. Show the people where we're filming from. Look at that beautiful pool. It's definitely not ugly. Okay.
It's just fine.
Is it really? I think it's definitely fine too. Okay, so here we go. So I gotta switch hands and just be super careful if you decide to launch this way, but we're just gonna do this. That is pretty cool, guys.
It's kind of cool.
Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can get a thumbnail right here. So guys, this is the real deal. It's not me, it's just the plane. And yes, I did just chop the grass. So yeah, I can't do it with helicopters, but I can evidently do it with planes. Planes that fly themselves, mind you. But that is pretty impressive right there. And then I can spin it. I'm doing it very slow so it looks cool. About 10% stick input. I don't want it to get away from me and go to planet something else. But as you can see, that is pretty neat. You can pull the elevator and then it stabilizes as soon as it can. You can push the elevator and make it come this direction, but it gets wonk on that direction. Just a warning for you all, okay? So I don't know if you guys can see in the background, but we got some solar panels on the roof, which is super cool. And we haven't talked about it a lot, but if you guys are curious about that, just hit us up. We've got links to solar systems. You will be helping us out if you decide to buy those, but you'd have to be in our area. So I'm gonna go to normal flight mode. I'm in auto leveling now. And it's kind of nice because the way you flip from ordinary whatever mode to auto leveling is quick and easy to get there, which is really nice. So giving you guys just a different advantage here. We like almost never fly back here behind the house. You can see Starlink, the Dishy McDish face up there. And I'm just gonna fly by Starlink. Oh, the microwave radio, blah, killed my radio. Just kidding, it's actually unplugged right now. We fired Mr. Elon Musk. Sorry, Musk.
Sorry, Elon.
Sorry, Elon. Your service got too expensive and crappy for us. And so we just went to T-Mobile, which you're working with now too, so.
So
okay, anyway, so we fired you to hire you for much less. Amazing. And that's what that other ugly antenna is, in case you guys are snooping our deck right now, which I'm sure you are.
Oh, I kind of almost forget about it already.
Okay, full level. This is auto leveling and vertical, right above the roof. Guys, that's when you know you can trust a plane, is when you're willing to fly it over your roof with a bunch of solar panels.
Some clouds back there.
I know, they're really cool. Okay, so we're gonna go into normalage mode. We're just gonna like bring it forward. You know, I gotta say, as much as it's annoying to learn what the heck all the modes are in these Chinese planes, I gotta say this one in particular was especially frustrating because there's so many modes, but I understand why they have so many modes now. I just don't understand why they had to have 2 vertical modes. If it weren't for that, I feel like really all they needed was 3 modes. But the truth is, if you can get vertical and you can get all the other modes, I'm okay with it. It's still pretty sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the other acro mode. So I'm in vertical, I'm gonna go just to acro now. So this is acro, the other acro mode. And I don't know if it's like more intense or if it's like a heading hold sort of mode, but all I know is that it still lets you flip over both directions. And so it's actually okay by me. Look at that, that's so cool. The flat landing into the throttle, slowly bring it into a hover and then let the flight controller do it. That is something else, guys. For being a ready to fly, it's pretty dang impressive. I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm usually not a huge sucker for the ready to flies. I mean, there are some good ready to flies, and then there's some really crappy ready to flies. And generally it has to do with what you've got in this thing, okay? And I can say on this one, we definitely have a lot of fun built in. And if you're a learning to fly sort of individual, I think that this plane would probably be way overwhelming, okay? Now, could you fly it? Maybe. The answer is maybe. I don't suggest you get this if you're a brand new pilot. I do suggest you get this if you want to become a better 3D pilot. And I do suggest this if you like to fly inside and you would like to spend some more time flying at indoor fly-ins, but you don't have time to build something more sophisticated. It kind of reminds me of the erratics, but it's got more cool features and it is quite a bit cheaper. So now that being said, the erratics is flown on a better transmitter because it's a bind and fly and it's in DSMX, which means that you can fly it on your preferred NX10 or NX8 or DX6 or DX8 or DX9 or DX18 or whatever it is you're flying, IX20. And so for that reason, I really enjoy that. Now that being said, you may also be able to take out the radio system in this, but then why the heck would you spend all the extra cash just to take out the radio system? I have a hard time believing most people are gonna spend the kind of money it takes to put in all that other radio gear. For instance, if you had a crashed erratics and you wanted to take that out and put it in here, you could definitely do that. That's just me and stabilizer. And yes, the beeping is annoying, but to be honest, I would just ride this thing until it dies.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, if you're trying to catch it, then you want to be a little bit careful how you handle it, okay? Because if you handle it wrong, it might die before you get a chance to catch it, okay? So I'm just gonna see if I can catch it one more time. And I don't want to end up in the septic system, although that would make for a pretty interesting video. Come on, come to me, come to me. So there it is, guys. I'm in no mode. Kind of hard to switch them when you don't have a throttle hold or throttle cut. So I must say, in closing, the A560 is a fun airplane. It comes feature packed and it's economical. So it's kind of hard to complain about those things, but we will find a way to do it. So complaint number 1, no LEDs. Complaint number 2, very, very flimsy construction, okay? It feels so flimsy that I'm afraid it's gonna break just looking at it, but it's actually pretty robust because it is so flexible. So that is the double-edged sword of the battle. The beeping is insanely annoying. The lack of throttle cut on a robust transmitter is crazy to me. Also, that's a Black Hawk. Wait, is it a Black Hawk?
I don't think so.
We are gonna see normal people on YouTube would just continue to conduct business like normal people.
No, we will
not on Brian Phillips RC. Oh, is that like one of the medevac?
I think so.
Yeah. It's so loud over here.
I know.
I love
like
it.
Right there.
Yeah, somebody's having a bad day. Very expensive life and death flight.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Black Hawk that went over the other day and it went over about, I don't know, a third closer and it went right here and it was so awesome. So anyway, guys, back to the point. RadioLink has given us a fun toy, hobby grade. I'm gonna say hobby grade actually on this. I know it seems toy grade, but it's actually pretty hobby grade. The other reason why I say that is because I think because this has S-Bus PPM, you could actually put a more sophisticated receiver on here, keeping in mind that you have to get something that's small, and that's probably not gonna necessarily work with this flight controller, okay? I don't know if it would, but if you wanted to try the Spectrum in there, you might be able to do it, which would be super cool, and I definitely like that concept. But again, I don't know if they're compatible because I don't know how the S-Bus works in this setup. And yes, if you hear the frog, show him the frog. He's on the side of the, he's on the side of the gutter.
Pool. Oh, he's on the gutter.
No, he's on the gutter.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out how to get into the pool.
So guys, all I can say is I wanted to say that this was gonna be like really very mediocre, and yet I found that it was actually pretty awesome, but it still has severe limitations, and it's not any more limited than the Erratics if you really get right down to it. It actually does a few features more. But I think the Erratics has a better sized body with larger control surfaces, and it makes it a lot easier to fly for the layman like me, okay? So if you're in the arena for getting a 3D ready to fly plane with vertical launch modes, then look no further than the A560, because that is a hyper specific category. You are literally in a plane of its own. That being said, I don't like all the weird things you get with this plane. I feel like they could have taken a lot of the features away, had this packaged up a little bit more junky, and it would have saved a lot of money, because you get a case that's very nice. It's got a zipper. It's like, why are you spending so much money on a case? I don't know, maybe they just give them away for cheap in China. But all I know is the plane is pretty fun. I don't think it's gonna age well. I think it's gonna get beat up, but it's gonna be fun while you're flying it. Also, that depends on how good of a pilot you are. It does break down without tools. However, I know for a fact you're gonna break these little clevis things. They do give you spares. You get 2 spares. These carbon fiber rods are gonna be the first thing to actually break past that. And then you're gonna get a warp or a bend in the wing, and that's gonna be kind of sort of like weird to get straightened out. Because there's only one carbon fiber through there, and then there is none through the horizontal stabilizer. So you just have this floating foam, okay? Now that's not all bad. It's just part of the nature of this plane. I'm sorry, I can't handle this beeping.
Thank you.
It's
I can't
literally
believe you made
driving
it
me
that
crazy.
long.
And yes, there is a push button to turn this off. Once you've turned it off and you're unplugged, you can stick that in your pocket, because it is very small. That is nice too. So if you're packing this in a backpack, or you have to bring it with you with your carry-on, I would immediately throw away the case that it comes in. I would take this apart and make it pack in as tight as possible, and you could actually bring this with you in a reasonably small package. Also, the props come off. It comes with 1 spare prop and a bunch of prop saver O-rings, which is cool. It's got plenty of power to do the job. It's not overpowered, it's not underpowered. It's the right amount of power, in my opinion. Also, I think that the pitch aggressiveness is just right for this size. I think the weight is reasonable. It could be lightened up with some holes and reinforcement, maybe holes and like a clear film on one side or something like that. It might make it look a little cooler. But honestly, it's not a bad looking plane. I just don't like this. I don't like that. Truthfully, it doesn't manifest itself as a big problem in the air. Okay, so hopefully we have answered your questions about the A560. It's a cool plane, it's interesting. It does a lot of the things that I didn't think it'd be able to do, and it did them pretty well. But it also does some of them not quite as good as, you know, super duper, way more 10 times as expensive planes. Strange.
Right.
So that being said, it's not a bad value. If you want to buy one, we'll have a link down below, and you can support Brian Phillips RC and all the different RC things we do, up to and including going to events. If we saw you guys at RC Fest, that was cool. Also, if we saw you at Jonal, that was even cooler. You know, just wherever. There's millions of different things that we're planning on this channel, not the least of which is going to some of these events. So if you want to see us in person and say hi, we would love to do that. We've got at least one more we're kind of seriously considering this year. Not sure exactly on the timing, and don't want to make any announcements until we know for sure that we've got airfare and deals and stuff worked out so we can get out there. We don't want to disappoint. And then also, you know, if we're so far out, you know, things come up sometimes. Yeah. But that being said, We appreciate you guys. We know that we do a lot here on Brian Phillips RC. We do not always 100% of the time fixed wing. Sometimes it's heli, sometimes it's quad, sometimes it's, you know, inexpensive, ready to fly planes. Sometimes it's very expensive ARFs, and we just kind of do all that stuff. And then we also throw in weird stuff once in a while that showcase maintenance of our airfield here and our beautiful property that helps us to facilitate this YouTube channel. And so if you guys wonder about those things and you say, you know, that doesn't really make sense to me, we get it. Don't worry. We'll just wait longer. Wait like 5 minutes. There'll be another video that comes out because we've done thousands of them. And so we appreciate you guys taking it easy on us with the e-bikes and things like that, because we do like those and we show them, and we have a lot less of you that are interested in that. But don't worry, it's not going to ever be a mainstay on this channel, but it is going to be something that we enjoy. And so we do things like this too, where we get these smaller planes that are helping people that maybe don't have a huge budget for a 3D experience to get in and get their toes wet. So we really like to do those things, but we also want to put it in perspective. This is not a $500 plane. This is not, you know, some ARF. It's not ever gonna be the best plane. And so we hope that you see that when we do our reviews and evaluations of these planes. We try not to, you know, beat them up over stupid little things, but we do wanna show the fact that there are stupid little things on these planes that you might have to tolerate. Namely, the obnoxious beeping on the transmitter, that sort of thing. The absence of lights, which we have seen is a popular thing anymore, is that even though it's very cheap to add them, there's no actual wire going onto the wing right now. So that would add some complexity to the assembly procedure, and so it probably costs a lot more than we might think. So that all being said, I think it's a generally good plane. I think you're gonna be excited. If you get one, you'll have fun playing with it for a while. It's definitely not gonna be your everyday flyer, because I don't think it's gonna survive that long. If you're a brand new pilot, it will survive even less. So if you wanna learn to fly, don't learn with this. Why? It's too hard to fly, okay? It is easy to fly, and it's still too hard to fly for the average beginner because it's very touchy. Even in auto level, you have way too much authority on all the controls. There isn't a way to switch rates. If there was like a low rate in the auto leveling, I feel like you could get away with this, but there's not. So that being said, we just want to bring you the full truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God, on Brian Phillips RC, and we hope you guys see that. We know that you tell us in the comments, but those of you that tell us in the comments, you are in our extreme minority of people that really care about us, and we know you're following the links to buy these planes when you do buy them, because that helps us to fund our channel and help support our family. We have a family of 6 here, and we are humbled by the amount of support that we get from you guys on a daily basis. We have people on Patreon that are supporting us monthly, which is crazy. We appreciate you guys. There's also PayPal people that just like throw us a few bucks here and there, and sometimes it's 50 bucks, sometimes it's like 100 bucks, and it's like, that's crazy. And then sometimes it's like 2 or 3 bucks. I mean, whatever, it all adds up, guys. Trust me, your little contribution makes a big difference because there's a lot of you. And really at the end of the day, we love doing this. And if you help us to worry less about that, then we can worry more about this. And that's really the no BS about it. I mean, we worked for livings, me and my wife both. We worked hard for years and years, and we're just trying to replace some of the necessity over here so that we can concentrate over here and bring you guys a little bit more of this content. And so every little bit helps, and it really does. So don't poo-poo your gifts. They all help. And that being said, we'll explain a little bit more in the Unbox Build Radio setup about membership. Membership is a total joke, just like we thought Patreon would be, but we have found that so many people really want to support us that way. So we're probably going to turn it on. YouTube is trying to extort us into doing it by offering us a bunch of free money. And when I say a bunch of free money, I mean, it's not nothing, but it's something. So we're going to probably take advantage of it, which means that they're going to take your cut. So just remember, when you give $1, it does not end up being $1 to us. And then we have to pay tax on stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. And if you want to really be our friends and family, we have PayPal for that. But we're going to turn it on because people like easy ways to support people that they care about. And you guys have always come through in that regard. But again, and I cannot stress this enough, the best possible way to support Brian Phillips RC is by buying the different items we do. Why? Because that helps us to not only support the RC ecosystem that we are a part of, the distributors, manufacturers, hobby shops, family companies that make these things, that send them to us. Then we put them on our channel. Then you guys see the video and you buy, and then they send a small payback. And then it goes like this. It's an ecosystem that's self-supporting. Okay, if somebody sends us something and we never sell anything for them, not only do we feel terrible, B, you know, they don't make any money on it. And so it becomes a bad investment. So then that stuff dries up and the ecosystem dies. At least it is for that affiliate. And that's the way this stuff all works. So it's not like we're married to RadioLink. We could care less what manufacturer's making it. Really, from our perspective, we just want to bring a good quality product that's going to help you guys have a good experience. And then it's going to be a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win, and it just never ends, right? So that's what we do here. And we want you to know that's the best way to help. Because then everybody wins, not just us. And you don't lose, you win. And if you can't support in any way financially, that's fine. That's fine. We never want you to hear that wrong. We just know that people ask. And you wouldn't believe us. They ask all the time. Yep. So comments below, leave them if you can. We'll talk to you as much as we can, but we do run out of time and we jump in there and just hit comments as frequently as we can. I jump on the computer while she's making food or, you know, clean up the kitchen or something like that. I'll throw down, you know, 15, 20 comments at a time. I used to spend days and days. It was incredible. You wouldn't believe me. Days, weekends, weeks. Getting caught up. It just, we can't do it anymore. It's impossible. So we appreciate you guys, but we can't keep up. Patreon is the easiest way to get access to us for comments because I see them the quickest. So, and I do try to respond to those quick. So anyway, hopefully that answered lots of your questions. Yes, this is not the best, fastest, easiest, quickest, whitest, bluest, whatever, est. It is good. I think you'll enjoy it for what it is. And that's what we do on Brian Phillips RC. Stay tuned. Unbox coming next. YouTube. It's been a while. We're opening this box now. I don't know exactly what this is, but I think I know what this is. You guys already know from the thumbnail. All right, here we go. Oh, there's a box within a box. And there's Chinese fragile labels.
Oh.
Ooh. Ooh. What do we have here?
Extra fragile.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like so they can avoid some sort of
what was that box for?
Legalities. But we'll go ahead and link to this product for you guys to enjoy it yourself if you want to help support Brian Phillips RC as usual. All right, so ooh, okay, we've got something else. What is this? A backpack?
Is it another box?
There is another box in here.
Okay.
What the heck is going on here?
It's like a
Is this a cooler?
case.
Oh, RadioLink. I see. So I know what this is. We got some RadioLink stickers, and we'll lay these aside for now. We'll put that box over here. Okay. Without further ado, we're going to open up our cooler here and show you just how cool this cooler is. Okay. Whoa, look at this. This reminds me of a cassette player I had as a kid that actually came in a case similar to this. I wonder if they got those. Look, there's like a clip. Look at this. Look.
Maybe it has a shoulder strap. You can like take it with you. That's pretty cool, hon.
I don't know. So far I'm impressed by the by this cooler. Whoa, there's an airplane in here. Okay, all right.
It does have a shoulder strap.
There is a shoulder strap. That is awesome. Okay, so we're gonna put that back here and we're gonna keep going. Okay, so we see some RadioLink information here. So this is a RadioLink A560 3D fixed wing vertical flight with one switch instruction manual V2.
Wow, that's
okay. That's a mouthful. All right. All right. So this one's the ready to fly version, and there are instructions in here. Looks like this book opens with the opens the wrong way.
Wrong way.
Just look the wrong way there, camera crew. Okay, so I'm looking at this. This is a CM210 DC input 5 volts, DC output 8.4. Okay, so this runs on a 2S battery, evidently.
That's the charger?
This is the charger adapter. Yeah, it's the balanced charger. Okay. We'll just pop that out real quick. So it comes with the USB-A to USB-C. It's got some sort of a 6A on there, which must mean 6 amp limit or something like that. I would highly, that's short, seems pretty robust, that's nice. Okay, so this is gonna be like a little charger adapter. Okay, so we'll keep this bag off to the side and we can come back to that later. Okay, what else do we have inside of here? We have a couple of batteries, so we're gonna need to get charging on that right now. So we'll do the boring stuff first, and then we'll get the plane out second. Now this plane comes as a ready to fly. That means you get everything you need to fly it, with the exception of sometimes transmitter batteries. Okay, so this is the lithium polymer pack. It's soft pack, as they call them, and 7.4 volts at 600 milliamp hours. Here's the balance lead, and this is a discharge lead, so it's got a JST connector. So what you do is you provide your own AC adapter, whatever you've got lying around. So just pop this in here, find an outlet, plug it in. Let's see if there's any lights. There is a little bit of a light in there. Okay. There's the red. Then you just plug this in. It is keyed, so you can only get it one way. And it says green, green. And I don't know if there's like more dots, but what I'll do is I'll grab a very handy tool called the XBC battery checker. We'll just plug in the other one. I assume they're about the same. This goes 1 through, I don't know, 10S or something. I can't tell how many cells that is, but I'm just gonna plug this in. It's like a battery checker for us. Yeah, so 70%. So 3.9556 volts. That's a little bit higher than average. Okay, let's swap batteries here. That's been plugged in for just a few seconds. Of course, it's gonna be just a minuscule amount of charge that's been forced in there. We'll just check at this. Yeah, about 73%. So normally you'd see these stored at about 3.8 volts. And if you have a more exciting, more powerful charger like what we've used on this channel a million other times, then I'm gonna show you if you have some sort of an adapter like this. Excuse me, I've got the wrong adapter here. The adapter I need is back here. Okay, this is the adapter. So that's the counterpart to this. So you can plug that in, and then you can use one of the smart chargers. This is the one we typically show on the channel because it will charge some of our biggest batteries all the way down to our smallest batteries. So yes, it'll charge this 7006S all the way down to whatever this is, which happens to be a 2S600 milliamp hours. This is a 7,000 milliamp hour, 6 cells in series. This is 2 cells in series. So you can see there's a bunch of batteries. They're in series and they make for a larger battery. Okay, so we're gonna plug this in. If you guys are new to the hobby and you don't understand all that, we'll help you here on Brian Phillips RC. So to set this charger up, we're gonna plug it in, press this play button, and then scroll up and change this down to 0.6 amps because it's 600 milliamp hours, milli meaning 1,000th. We're gonna choose that, it's already selected, 2S, and then start. So then this is gonna, of course, start charging. Now, of course, you could use the S155, still gives you the IC3 and IC5, but then that only goes up to 4S. This one goes up to 6S and it's dual. This is the single 200 watt charger. And this is the dual 200 watt. Okay, and of course you can charge all these different batteries, or you can just use the provisional charger here. So we'll let that continue to charge. And of course the Spectrum XBC battery checker is one of the smart things down below. These are all smart batteries. This is a dumb battery. So you don't have to have a smart battery to fly an airplane, but a smart battery makes your life easier. It's also a little bit safer. But in this case, we have a RadioLink transmitter that comes with it. That's fancy, okay? So power button. Oh, and it is powered, nice. Okay, we have trim. Makes a high tone for the center. Very nice. Okay, and then we have a USB micro plug there. Channel 6, channel 5 rocker, channel 7 rocker. Okay, so there's this condition, that condition, this condition. And then that is a scroll wheel. That is a lot of channels. Okay, very cool. And then it says on the back, 5.2 volts at 2 amps with a 900 milliamp 3S pack installed. Okay, so that's very nice. We'll just go ahead and turn that off. It is charged a little bit, but I don't see if it came with a charger cord or not. I think there's a charger cord somewhere. but we're gonna have to get creative to figure out, because it looks like this thing sort of comes out like this, okay? So that's pretty weird. There's a linkage that came out. See how this works? Phillips screw goes in, bites the carbon fiber shaft, and then that holds its length position. Okay, that's weird. Landing gears are made of what looks like steel, like spring steel. Here's the charger cord for the RadioLink transmitter. Of course, we don't need to charge that. It seems to be good for power right now. So we'll just kind of throw that over by the bananas. There's something here. Hook and spring for throttle stick to be self-centered. What? Oh, you can make it so that it's self-centering. Okay, that's very weird. Looks like it comes with a key ring. So that's kind of cool. Throw that over there, get that out of our hair. Lots of prop savers. These are the ring for the prop. We'll show you how to use those in a minute. And it comes with 2 propellers. Looks like these propellers. Let's talk about the size real quick. How do you know what size the prop is? It should be printed on the inside portion of the wing. So it's an 8 by 3/8. And that also indicates the direction that it should be going. Okay, so that goes toward the front of the plane. Okay. So it comes with 2 of those. So that's nice. Again, that's 8 by 3/8. So we'll just put our extra over here. Comes with a lot of accessories. What the heck is that thing? Oh, it's tape. Plastic buckles for wing. Plastic buckles for servo. Lever fixed, screwdriver, and fiber tape spare. Okay, so it's got all these buckle things. Okay, so we have this, which must be the hinge tape. So you can see why you would have extras in there. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. This is kind of a moldable kind of foam here, but it's not super heavy. So that's kind of cool. We'll see how that goes. And then the wing, and then there's some control horns here. I don't know if those are the extras or if those are the ones you need. Just go and pull the wing out, carbon fiber spar here. Nice print on the top, super flexible, which is weird, unnaturally flexible. But it just feels like it's got that weird smell to it. Smell it, camera crew. That's strange.
Smells like foam.
Yeah, but I feel like this would definitely hold its shape if you creased it, so don't crease it. Okay, and then the important part is the fuse. And so if you look on the backside, you can kind of press that out. Okay, there's lots of things that come loose. Okay, let's lay that down. And then the bottom of the case is made of a thick piece of like fiberboard. So a couple millimeters thick. And then let's lay this back in and see how that backs. It's actually a super nice case. So it'll help protect it. And I do like that it's easy to transport. However, I gotta admit, by the time I build this thing, I doubt I'm gonna wanna put it back in the case because like, why would I wanna waste my time putting it together? It's not an overly big plane. So without further ado, we're gonna build this thing. In our Unbox build radio setups, we almost always do the same format. We slide that wing. So we got a receiver here, and then we've got, what the heck is this? 8X, or it's a R8XM. And then we have a brushless motor ESC. So I don't understand, there's 2 of them. That's a RadioLink Buy Me A. That's so weird. So this is like where everything plugs in. Then that must be like the satellite receiver, I guess. Yeah, because it's S-bus. Plus 5 volts and then ground. And then this is telemetry. I don't understand. why there's a third thing in here, because this looks like it could be a receiver. S-Bus PPM. So I don't know if they're using that for redundancy or if they're using that for in the first place. Okay, all the servos seem to be sort of like pulled to weird extremes. See this? Mm-hmm. So that's highly unusual. And I'm assuming this is going to go back here. So I'm just trying to be careful about my antennas. Okay, so that gets folded back. This one is already hooked up. Oh, that's just a strut, a stabilizer strut, okay? For the horizontal stabilizer. Okay, and then the batteries are going to go into this Velcro strap, be held, and then power up the ESC from here. Just a very basic setup here. The only thing I don't get is this whole concept of two things, whether that's a satellite receiver or the receiver. And then this must be the receiver then, because this is where everything hooks up. But I've never seen that before, and it's hot glued on there, which is really weird. If you come over here, I think you're gonna be able to see considerably better. So you can see this. See how all the wires are just regular, conventional sized. And this is for the ailerons. They share a single servo, but you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plugs, one of which is being consumed by the RadioLink 8X or the R8XM. Gosh, that's hard to say. Is it just in my head? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this assembly, and the assembly should be relatively easy, but I wanna make sure I get it right. So I'm just gonna look over this information real quick. This talks about all sorts of stuff. It gives you basically an explanation for what it is. Pretty good for being Chinese manual. Oh, this is not a, oh goodness gracious, it's one of these.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the Chinese side. This is the English side. Ah, here we go. Here's step 2, install the horizontal stabilizer.
Step 1 is install the wing over there.
What? Step 1, 2, 3?
No, here, step 1.
Step 1?
Yeah.
Why is it 1, 2, 3 over here? Oh, this is disassembly notes. Okay. So assembly starts here and works its way across. Oh my goodness. All right, spare parts. Here we go. Remove the slotted fuse. Is this the disassembly again?
Nope, that's assembly.
Install the wing. Install the wing. Install the wing. This is like the most confusing instruction manual I've ever seen. I know what I need to do. I'm just trying to see if there's any sense of it for the average Joe. Because basically we just have to start putting things together and it'll be process of elimination. So let's do that, because this is useless. So as usual, the Chinese manual, nice color manual. If you were really sitting here and studying this, you could figure it out, but you know what, whatever, it's a waste of my time. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put it together because it can't be that hard. Okay, you got this, there's an aileron here, there's an aileron here. Okay, so we have to get that through somehow. It's gonna make the plane more awkward to work with, so we're gonna start with the tail. Okay, so this is gonna have some sort of a joiner, does it? I can't tell. Oh, the joiner is here. Okay, so that holds the horizontal stabilizer together, which is very small. And of course, the control surface is huge because this would be some sort of like a 3D plane, okay? So we can pull that apart. We can slide this thing through. Okay, then there's this little clippy doohickey here. This clippy doohickey, and then that thing is supposed to be up. Okay, so that just slides through, and then we got a clippy pin here. And then this thing just snaps through here. Goodness gracious. Just millions of little stupid steps that you wouldn't normally think would exist. It's not especially challenging steps, it's just these things don't snap together very good. They're the type that will break, so you have to make sure you get alignment right, okay? Very good. And that, of course, is not square. So we're gonna have to eventually square these two surfaces. And then all this stuff wants to tangle on itself while you're working on it. So, oh, these are struts for the actual main wing assembly. Or wait, no, those are struts for back here. Is that what that is? Yeah, that's what that is. That goes here. That goes here. Okay. Okay, so that snaps. Then this is actually going to control the elevator. And then did they say where to plug the... Oh, okay. Connect the... Okay, that's pretty useless. Still, again, going away from the manual. Let's see if it says anything in here. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, that's a flight controller. That's a receiver, okay? Joystick mode. Below explanation takes mode 2 to mode 1, I think. Joystick mode. Okay, so if you want to go from mode 2 to mode 1, then you can do this, okay? I'm not doing that. I did not have a kit that looks like this. I believe ours are already installed. I'm just noticing that as we go. Okay. Okay, I'm guessing it's not going to tell us. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, we're going to have to remember that later.
We'll have to write it on there or something.
Yeah, there's just a lot of different things that you're going to have to know. I know how to fly. That part I don't need help with. And they don't mention it anywhere in there at all. Oh my goodness, there better not be. Ready to fly version has already set up transmitter phase, but please check it again before taking off. Enter the basic menu. Where's the basic menu?
On the app.
Oh, you have to have an app?
Well, I don't think you have to have it, but you can if you want to make changes.
Okay. All right.
Well, we're not going to
do that. We're not going to check that. They're talking about the direction, the phase. They mean mode. They mean like what polarity. So up and down should go the same as what you expect. Okay. Receiver connection. Okay. Good Lord. All right, this is way too much information. So all of you that are getting this plane thinking this is for a beginner, just remember, when you're watching on Brian Phillips RC, we're going to tell you if it's for a beginner. And a lot of times what happens is they try to make the plane do so much, and they still have to explain to you somehow how to do it. And so, to be honest, sometimes the Chinese do a pretty good job of explaining things like in that 1 out of 100 times. And then other times, the 99 out of 100, they either overcomplicate things or they just completely send you a Chinese manual because they assume you're not going to read it anyway because you're watching my videos, which would be a pretty fair assumption here, okay? I'm just going to start getting parts in here because it's driving me nuts. All the different instructions are there's so many complicated things that, okay, so this must go like this. Okay. And you're like, but how did you know that that went there, Brian? I don't know, just because we built like 300 or 400 planes. Okay, so that goes back and snaps. That's getting better as we go. It's getting better, almost there. We sort of, oh, yep, that's what fell off, guys. Okay. Yep, we're getting there. So if you look really close, there's a little head on there. If you snap this, you have to get alignment. If you snap in the wrong spot, you'll rip that ball off and then you have to fix them and it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's done. And you'll notice there's no retention at all. There's no fuel tube on there, which we would usually see on this type of application because that fuel tube is your last line of defense, okay? Now I'm trying to figure out, does this come up? I think it does, yes, okay. Also, we need to put a clip doohickey in the tail. So the doohickey is back here in this bag. There's a handful of them.
There's some screws in there too.
Yeah, and some spare things and all that crap. Okay. So we're just gonna basically, does that go from the top or the bottom? Kind of tend to think it goes from the bottom. So it's got this thing here. It's like IKEA style. And then you just turn it, see?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty straightforward stuff. And then this is what we were trying to look up when we've got in the manual. And of course, I have no clue where this is supposed to be plugged in. If it goes to the inside, you have more throws. If you go to the outside, you have less. So we'll err on the side of having less throw and be in the outside hole because that's the way the rudder is right now, okay? All right, so we've got that there. And then of course, this will be for the ailerons. So we'll just pull this straight up. And as usual, something just pulled out.
That little thing.
Looks like it's just a ring of foam. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I
don't think it's supposed to be in there. I think it must have been just like a clipping from the assembly process. Okay, so now this goes up. Just an assumption, but a reasonable, educated assumption. Okay, so there it is. Then this thing lines up kind of on the top. We're just gonna slide it straight down. This is just such a weird, like wiggly mess of softness.
It's not usually a good sign.
I don't know. Usually in order to use it, you gotta kind of stiffen it up a little bit first.
Yeah, if it gets stiff, it'll work okay.
I don't know. This thing's pretty dang soft. I guess we're gonna find out. I mean, that soft is good when you crash. Okay. So now we need to put the retention side. Oh, geez, there's so many little loose parts here going on. Okay, we need these things. Okay, so I'm gonna press this down and then turn this. Oh yeah, you have to press pretty hard too. And what that does is that gives a bearing surface up against the foam. By the way, that's a 15 amp ESC. That's nuts for a small helicopter. Small helicopter.
Yes,
Yeah.
also that.
This is an airplane, folks. On Brian Phillips RC, we sometimes call airplanes helicopters and helicopters airplanes, depending on what we just recently did. Okay, so just pressing, you see how it's kind of got that T shape to it. Okay. And this is definitely one of the more weird builds we've done, but it is definitely a well thought out plane because it's got all this, and so far it's been toolless, which is pretty sweet. I really so badly want to pull this servo so it's not like janked like that. But I guess I'm just gonna have to pull the control surface up. I'm gonna go to the outside-most hole. And then this one here is gonna go up. And I'm gonna go to the outside-most hole. And this is, of course, going to give us our aileron control, and you can see all the surfaces are locked in their maximum positions. So now this is where you could, if you were prepared to fly and you had vetted the system, you could put the prop on, but even I am not gonna do that this time. So I'm gonna put all my loose ends, extra screwdriver screws, some extra tape, extra screwdriver, extra control clevises. If you do break one, they give you extras.
It is nice.
Then I'm gonna put this thing in there. I don't know why. I guess that's for the transmitter. And then they give you some extra output control horns for the servos. And then I'm gonna take just one of these rings. And the way this ring works is you take it and you go like underneath this screw here, and then it goes over to the other side, you see? And then that holds your prop on, okay?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay. So we'll just kind of put that on there loose. And they give you lots of those. So that's called a prop saver, because what happens is if you were to hit the prop on the ground, then it just breaks that free and pops the propeller off, or breaks the propeller, and then also pops
And then also the thing.
Okay, so now that we have gone through that very confusing process and had almost no help from the manual, we're just gonna go ahead and put this manual where it belongs. If you could just let me fold that up, and we'll just go ahead and take care of that. We are gonna take that out of the trash now. Just a second. Hopefully there's anything too gross in there. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of a nice little package. Definitely a limp noodle. And, you know, but whatever it loses in strength on the airplane, you can make up for in this sweet boombox holder that's over here. And now you've got this actually, you know, this carrying case is really nice. You know, you could put something else in it and use this as a really, really nice carrying case.
Okay,
So,
but what if you're a dude, or you're not, you're something else, and you want to have a plane with you to fly, but you can't just like having a plane floating around in the back of your car.
do you like my sticker?
That's really cute.
It is. I thought it was pretty awesome myself.
You can have a little plane in your
In your
truck,
case.
and then you just take. And once you've assembled
In
it
your manly
once,
truck.
once you've assembled it once, you're gonna remember how to do it.
Well,
you
to
know.
be honest with you, if it wasn't like weird to us and we had done this once, okay, so that sticker's ruined. I want to know who folded this.
Yeah, don't fold the stickers.
Don't fold
people.
the stickers. Why would you fold the stickers, folks?
Why are you putting the stickers on you?
Well, I'm not putting them on me. I was just going to take the sticker and just show you that, you know, they do come with some big stickers, which is kind of nice. They're actually pretty nice stickers. So that's cool that they give you all that free branding marketing stuff.
I thought you were gonna stick it on the back of your shirt.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it. So, all right, at this point, basically, our next move is we do have to get the batteries off the charger. So let's jump over to the chargers.
Something beeped.
This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Okay.
LEDs.
that means.
And then this one's done, okay? So I can press the down arrow and I can see, what the heck? 4.18, okay, whatever, that's good enough for me. Okay, so I'm just gonna unplug this. And then just so you guys can see with another utility, you can see where we are. 98%, good enough. Sometimes these El Cheapo batteries don't always get fully charged. So I'm not sure why that is, but it just kind of is what it is. And look at that, 94%. That's not too bad. That's one of the closest matches we've had.
Yeah.
But also these things were way higher charged than your average. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and, yeah, we'll be reasonable here. Let's plug it into the charger and just see what happens. So it's at 4 or 5. So that's kind of nice. You do have some feedback as to what's going on. And it's better than a lot of the provided 2S chargers and ready to flies that we've seen in the past. Kind of hard to tell. It looks like there's some clouds outside, so maybe we'll get to fly it, but let's try some things first. First things first, power's on, okay? This stick is your throttle. If it's by default, I'm gonna hold this and I'm just gonna put this next to it so I can easily find it. So we'll flip this plane upside down. Find the stall for the battery, which is right here. There's a little bit of a strap, so I'll just take that strap and stick it to itself. I'm gonna slide this in to the spot where it's supposed to be. Kind of a nice high quality strap. It's kind of weird. It's like, I feel like this plane has so many things that are well done and then other things that are just like, what the heck happened there? But it's not like the plane is garbagey. It's just very like weird set of circumstances. I'm just gonna like stick this here because that'll hold that balance lead for me. Then I'll plug this in. Okay, so it comes alive. Lots of lights going on. I'm gonna set that level. Just make sure that it comes alive and gets settled. And we're just looking for some sort of a dance or jump, and that might have already been it. So let's check. Elevator up, elevator down. Okay, so if you wanna come over here, elevator up, elevator, okay. Okay, so it's, oh, there's roll left, roll right, roll left, elevator up, elevator down, yaw left, yaw right. Okay, cool. So there's some other mode. Okay. Then there's some other mode. Okay, pretty cool. Then there's this scrolly knobby thing, and I don't know what the heck it does. And then there's something over here. There's another set of controls. Good Lord, there's so many things
That's
to
a
not.
lot of modes.
Yeah, okay, so now because we have the prop off, we can test the throttle. Oh yeah, buddy. All right, so first things first, when you're doing this, you wanna kinda stick this on so that it just holds itself in position a little bit. Grab your ring, slide it on the bottom, and then just flip it around, just like that. That's literally as hard as it is.
You don't have to cross it over or anything. You just.
That's pretty good amount of power.
Wow.
Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump into the garbage
Get
can
our
for a
filing
quick
cabinet.
second to our permanent file cabinet. We are gonna take that out of the garbage. And we're gonna go to this page, okay? So what I wanna do is I wanna see the flight modes because they did have like 3 or 4 pages of flight modes. This is the only place I wanna know about the gyro. Oh, for God's sake, where did they hide this thing? I know it's toward the back. Are gonna be super, super creative right now, and we're gonna come up with a plan. And the plan is gonna be to mark what's what in what condition. Now, why are we gonna do that? Because when we go to fly this, we need to have some semblance of understanding what the heck each one does.
But I'm looking at the thing and I don't understand.
Okay. Vertical mode. So this one is channel 5. Wait, which one are they talking about?
Like I just said.
What the heck kind of stupidity is this crap? This is channel 5, okay? Where's channel 5? Are we talking about this is channel 7?
See, channel 7.
Down, center, up. Hey, China, listen. Don't use shorthand. PLS does not mean please.
Okay, I figured it out.
Cent is not a word.
Wait, I figured it out.
Center.
Okay. When channel 7 is in that switch,
Down.
channel 5 does those 3 modes.
Okay, so there's nothing when it's in the center.
Apparently.
Okay, so this is channel 7. So channel 7 in the center is normal, okay?
Maybe.
But then in combination with channel 5, so there's actually a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 modes.
Maybe.
So it's a multiplying effect, a matrix, if you will.
Great.
That'll be super easy to remember. So for all you beginners out there, just remember 7 extra modes and all the rest of the crap you need to know to fly. So all joking aside, acrobat mode, vertical mode, multi-rotor. Why did they give us a multi-rotor setting? This is a single rotor. China.
We need these modes. Those are the modes we're going to use, right?
These would be the generically standard-ish modes, but I'm really actually kind of intrigued by this one. Okay, so we're just gonna have to bring that thing with us.
Okay, but down, what's down? What's down and what's up? When you push this down.
Hold on. Down, up. Okay, up is manual mode. Okay, manual, gyro, and stabilize. So this one's stabilize, gyro, and manual. Okay, so this is like, yeah, that throttle's easy to bump. So we're gonna go like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're making sense of this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. 1 is going to be, that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then the other mode is going to be, so, oh dang it, did I do that backward? Because down, yes I did. Son of a biscuit lover.
Need some rubbing alcohol.
S, and this one's M, so manual. MGS, okay? And then this one is, the down is oh, this is the vertical, is the same as manual. Okay, so this is, okay, we're gonna get some rubbing alcohol and come back. Thank you, China. What we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe off our awesome labeling system and try again on this side because I made a mistake. Okay, so now it's gonna be 1 is toward me. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. And what we need to do is, this conditionally is nominal, this is none, okay? And then this is, how are we gonna call this?
Like
this is like normal, like normal stabilized. This is none, then normal, and then this is like 3D, okay?
Yeah.
So 3D is down, correct?
No, 3D is up.
Oh, son of a biscuit. So I need to switch this. So 3D is up and normal is on the bottom. Okay guys, if you're following along at home thinking, I'm so confused, don't worry, welcome to the crowd. Normal. Okay, so that's like stabilizers. Okay. This is normal. Normal. And then this is 3D. This is 3D. 3D. okay? All right, so then this is 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3. 1 being vertical mode, vertical, and then acrobat, whatever that means, acro, and then vertical multi-rotor. I don't know what multi. Okay, so then on the normal side of things, we would be on the down, we would be stabilized. So ST stab. Then we'd be gyro. I'm like, what's the difference, guys? And then manual. Okay, that'll be just enough confusion to save the day. Let's just, okay, in normal mode, okay? Normal mode in gyro, this should auto level, okay? Nope. That's in stabilized. That stabilized is auto leveling, okay? See? So it's finding a path to level, see? And then getting it to level and then flying, okay? So that's down and down gives you auto leveling.
Okay.
Down and middle gives you stabilized. Down and middle, down and middle gives you stabilized. And then no stabilization is down and up, okay? So if you're a beginner, you're gonna wanna fly with down and down. So trigger down, trigger down.
Okay.
That's gonna take off, and when you let go of the sticks, it'll just stay level, okay? So down and down, down and up gives you nothing, okay? So that would be just you're in full control. You don't probably wanna fly this thing that way, by the way. Hopefully that all makes sense. And we're gonna go try it because, to be honest with you, this RadioLink 560, this A560, is supposed to be pretty awesome. So we're gonna find out if it is. I can tell you this, there's a lot of modes, and a lot of modes would generally be a bad thing for a beginner, okay? So if you're a beginner, I'm not telling you that this is gonna be a good beginner plane just because it's easy to fly or easy to not break. But I am gonna tell you this, you have to make sure you're in the right mode, because when you're a beginner and all you're thinking is down and all the way up, you have elevator up, elevator down, roll left, roll right, yaw left, yaw right, and I don't understand the latency there. See how it's quickly moving? I think when you go between modes, it takes a second for things to occur. Because I don't know if you saw that, but I sure as heck did. Now, I don't know, what do the triggers do? I think we should look at the triggers. Okay, so there's also this scrolly knob here, and I don't know if that's like a gain or what, but these are the modes, okay? So these are the two modes that you want to fly in if you're a beginner pilot. And generally, okay, so you remember how I said down and down? That's what you want. Down and down is going to get you into this automatic leveling, okay? That's also going to give you the max roll and pitch angles, okay? So what's the difference between multi-rotor and not? Okay, so in multi-rotor, the 560 can automatically keep the vertical attitude. One switch to fly vertically. In the vertical mode, toggle the aileron joystick to control the moving left or right, and toggle the rudder to move. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay. Fixed wing can automatically keep the vertical attitude in vertical mode, then toggle aileron joystick to control the 560 moving anti-clockwise. Oh, jeez. And toggle the, oh, so confusing. Okay, whatever.
So we'll just try it.
We'll just try it. Like, we tried our best, guys. Reading these manuals is like pulling teeth. And all I'm gonna say is, that doesn't mean the plane's bad. And I'm actually excited to see this vertical mode. It's one of my most exciting things I wanna try right now in my mind. I'm kind of dying to try it. And so basically I have to remind myself, to get that mode, I have to go to the up, and I need to either be up or down, okay? And if I'm in the center, it's acrobatic mode, which is just gonna be basically like another mode. So basically the way I see it is down and down for beginners, down and middle for like the normal flyer, or up and middle for the normal flyer. Then there's vertical or vertical. I hope that makes sense to you. But anyway, guys, we hope this will give you just enough information to get your wheels on the ground and your wings in the air subsequently thereafter. But so far it seems like it's a high quality plane. It's just more a matter of, is it gonna do what they say it's gonna do? And that's a totally different take on reality. So what we do here on Brian Phillips RC is we don't just take these things from the manufacturers and say, look how amazing, it's the cheapest, best, fastest, yellowest, whateverest. That's not what we do here. What we do is we show the plane in action. We give it a good college try if we aren't sure about it. And that's what we're gonna do here with this thing. Obviously, I'm not a 3D pilot, but this thing should be able to do some cool stuff. So I can't wait to try it, and we hope you guys enjoyed the video, even though we struggled through part of it, and that's because anybody who puts this thing together will probably struggle through it. Actually, it was not hard of a build, so just try it yourself. And if you want to help support Brian Phillips RC and all the things that we do here, me and the Megan, my wife of many years, and wonderful camera crew, then you can buy these things from the links. If you buy them from the links, you'll help support our channel by commissions that are sent from the companies that we work with. And yes, that's right, we're truthful about these things. Yes, we just made fun of their manual and talked about how overcomplicated it was. And at the same time, out of one side of the mouth, and the other side, we're like, hey, buy this thing and help support us financially. Well, the reason that we tell you out of both sides of the mouth the truth is because that is the image of this product, okay? So if you like this and you think it's worth buying, buy it from the link. If you like it and you know it because you have heard about it and now we're here helping you close the deal, then buy it from the link. You'll help support us. And if you think it's garbage and you watched our video and you're like, hey, thank you for saving me from this terrible product, which again, I'm not gonna say it's terrible or great yet. We will here in a few minutes. Then I think the best way to help support us in that situation is Patreon, PayPal, or just find a different plane that you do like. And we have reviewed thousands of items on Brian Phillips RC. And if you look over at brianphillipsrc.com, our domain, then you can actually go over to the website. You can see what we've got there and sort by type or by manufacturer. In this case, since it's sort of a one-off for us, being that it's a RadioLink brand, I've never heard of that, but RadioLink is a receiver and transmitter company from what I understand, but they have evidently branched out to do a few planes here and there, and that's fine. Inactivity alarm there just going off. So I am going to give it some throttle, and then I'm gonna go down with the stick. Okay, so we're fine. So if you wanna help support us in any of those ways, we would be very grateful to you for doing that. And we also appreciate you watching the video. Smash the like button before you leave, and then click the subscribe and choose the bell with all for notifications for all the new content, and that will help us to keep in business so we can keep bringing you content and help keep protecting you from items like this if it turns out to be a turd, or help you find items like this if it turns out to be awesome. So I think it's probably gonna be toward the latter, because even though it's got its idiosyncrasies, many of the Chinese products we reviewed do. So I'm not gonna let that scare me off, although it is frustrating after you've been through it 70 or 80 or 100 times with the same battles. But that being said, we've also had some of the best products end up there. So without further ado, we'll leave you at that. Thanks for watching, guys. There is so much more coming from Brian Phillips RC, and if you like this, we do it on other stuff that we have a little bit more familiarity with, and we do it in a little cleaner method. And we also do a wide variety of different items that will help you to avoid blowing lots of cash on something that turns out to be very mediocre, or we help you to spend lots more money than you thought you wanted to by showing you things that are really awesome. And we try to do it in a consistent and valuable way so you guys get value out of these videos. So we appreciate you guys being here, be part of the family on Brian Phillips RC. And speaking of family feel, we just wanted to mention one other thing. We may turn on membership because YouTube is trying to extort us into doing it by offering us lots of free money to do it. And what they mean by free money is they'll like pay us so much to do it so that they can keep the vast majority of your membership fees. So if you decide to be a member, just remember, guys, we appreciate you doing that. It is super well appreciated, and it's gonna give you guys access to pretty much all the same stuff you got now without paying, but it's gonna give you another venue to support us financially if you decide you don't wanna get it from RadioLink or from Horizon or from FMS or HobbyZone.com or one of the other many great partners, the Dancing Wings of the world, the Big Go Hobbies of the world. RTL Fasteners, I'm trying to think of everybody and I'm gonna miss somebody.
The leaf blower people.
Yeah, the leaf blower people, those guys are a huge part of our business model. Redlands balers, you know, just all these different companies we worked with over the years that have helped get us from nothing to something, and help keep us afloat financially doing this. You can help support us by buying those things, or you can support us through YouTube in the members. Super thanks. And the reason we tell you this is because we feel like the only way we can do it and sleep at night is to just tell you how it works, and then you guys can decide if you think it's a ripoff or not. Okay, when you give like $50 or $20 or $30 or $3 or $7 or whatever it is,
yeah.
or you give some European Union dollars, whatever they're using these days, or some like Filipino cash, and then they convert it to US dollars or whatever it is.
Australia,
Russian rubles.
We always get some weird amount.
There's always some weird amount. So anyway, whatever it is that you give, what's going to happen is they're going to extort, they're going to keep their cut. No matter, we don't have any control over it. We're just simply doing it because we want you to have an option.
Unless you're our friend and family on PayPal.
If you're our friends and family on PayPal and you don't intend to return, if you don't expect to return, then it should be no problem. But there's very limited fees there, unless of course you're in China or Australia or Asia or something like that. There's usually some conversion fees.
Yeah.
So we take a few seconds to talk about that now because we want you to know that we're being transparent with you, because transparency helps to give us the freedom to be completely truthful about how garbage or amazing products are. And at the end of the day, if we're not being truthful about this, why would we be truthful about that? So we want you to understand how that works. And yes, I know I would feel this way if I was trying to support somebody on YouTube and I said, hey, I'm here, 50 bucks for you. I want to know that 50 bucks is getting to you. Well, I hate to break your heart. 50 bucks is not going to get to us if you send $50 because YouTube's going to take their cut. I don't know the percentage basis is, but it's the same thing with ad revenue. It's the same thing with everything. It's the same thing with Patreon gifts. It's just the way the world works. We have gotten acquainted to everybody taking their cut, but that's the way we work too. So these manufacturers send them to us. They give us a small cut, and that way we keep excited about all their different products, some of which turn out to be pretty garbagey, and we protect you from that.
But it does truly help our family.
It really does help. And we are a family of 6.
You're supporting our family.
And we are making some pretty big investments this year. So hopefully you'll see in videos to come.
Hope so.
So your YouTube connection, Inside Baseball on Brian Phillips RC. And one last quick view of this. If you're just shutting down, you can look at this. There's probably some splash screen coming up giving you links to other videos. If you want to pause it, get this in frame, 1 page at a time or 2 pages at a time. That's pretty much what you're going to need to remember from the manual. And yes, we are going to take this with us. I'm going to stick it into my shirt like I'm a college football coach. Okay, kids, here it is. I'm not going to actually do that. The camera crew is going to hold it.
Okay, that's what I figured.
So guys, all I've got to say is thanks. She's putting it in hers. So guys, thanks so much for watching our video. We hope we answered all the questions you didn't even know you needed to have, and then even more about this RadioLink A560 on Brian Phillips RC. So thanks for watching. So much more. Stay tuned.